Welcome to the Indomitable Podcast. If this is your first time, I'm Dom, and this podcast is for people who are tired of surface level conversations. This space is for those who want to grow into who they're meant to be, leaders in their homes, their careers, in their lives. Whether you're a parent, a spouse, a professional, or someone who's chasing purpose, this podcast is for people who want to be better and are bold enough to face themselves in the process. This is the first of a 3-part series on identity and inner work. Today we're kicking it off with a message that's uncomfortable but necessary. The mask that you built is killing you. Have you ever looked in the mirror and not recognized who you've become, or worse, realized that you spent years performing a version of yourself just to survive? I have. And what I've learned is this: the mask that you built to protect yourself is the same one keeping you from becoming who you were created to be. Most of us are wearing something we never chose. We picked up from the media, pain, broken households, unspoken expectations. We built our identity around survival, not truth. And survival doesn't ask, who am I? It asks, what do I need to be so I don't get hurt again? So we become the funny one, the strong one, the provider, the tough guy, the people pleaser, the alpha, the hustler, the know-it-all, the invisible one. Whatever keeps us from feeling rejected, weak, or unwanted, we wore it. And here's the thing: masks protect, but they also isolate. And after a while, you forget who's even underneath it. I wore all the masks. I was so good at switching them to match the circumstance that I was in that I lost myself completely. I experienced my first bully at the age of 3, and I still remember his name. And with no male role model in the home, my mom did the best she could to toughen me up. But her version of love was tough love, and that if I lost a fight at school, she'd beat me for it. Now in hindsight, I can see the attempt to make me strong, but all it did was make me silent. From the age of 3 to 33, I kept to myself. I felt like I had no one I could talk to. And even when I did, I wasn't being me. I would be whoever I thought that person needed me to be. And the truth is, I had no idea who I was. I only knew one thing: as long as people liked me, they wouldn't pick on me. But that wasn't fully true either. I was bullied at school, then at home. And when the mask stopped protecting me, I created new identities, full-blown fabrications, lies, different lives I hoped would finally make me feel safe. It went beyond acting, it became survival. That was me. I didn't know who I was. I didn't grow up with real examples of leadership or identity, and no one taught me how to love myself. No one taught me how to lead with presence, so I learned how to perform. What made it worse, I thought the mask that was me, I thought that yelling meant power. I thought control meant leadership. I thought fear meant respect. But the truth, I was scared. I was broken. I was tired. And I was lying to everyone, including myself. It wasn't until I stopped performing and sat with the pain that I started to heal. The mask didn't fall off. I had to take it off, piece by piece. And underneath, I found a man God was still willing to love. So let me ask you, what mask are you wearing right now? Who told you that that's who you had to be? And what would happen if you let that image die? I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it's worth it. Because the version of you that's hiding behind your grind, your anger, your silence, your smile, that version is not who God made. It's who the world shaped. And if you're ever going to walk in freedom, you got to stop pretending and start facing yourself. So here are 3 small but powerful shifts to start removing the masks. 1, name the role you're playing. What version of yourself are you performing? The tough guy, the fixer, the silent one? Be honest. Say it out loud. It loses power when you call it out. 2, ask, who gave me this identity? Was it your father, the media, an ex, a painful memory? You can't replace a false identity until you confront where it came from. 3, begin with surrender, not strategy. This isn't about working harder, it's about laying it down. You don't need another 5-step plan. You need to be still long enough to hear who God already said you are. He's not trying to fix your mask. He's trying to reveal your identity. This is the God's honest truth. When I finally admitted I didn't know who I was, everything changed. I came to realize I had been lying to myself the entire time. I've been living for my mother and for the approval of everyone else. I didn't know me. And when I finally came to that awareness, I was confused, completely lost for about 2 or 3 weeks. I called everyone who knew me, and I would ask them about me, my mom, my childhood, about who I was back then, because it felt that I had just woken from a deep sleep. The best way to describe it is it felt like I was standing outside of the darkness and now into the light. I could see every transgression that I had ever committed, every false identity that I carried, but I wasn't buried under them anymore. It was like standing in a bright white room. And truly the only way that I can describe it was truly like being born again. The scariest thing that I ever did was admit I don't know who I am. But it was also the moment God could finally show me. So if you're listening to this right now and you feel exposed, good. Because exposure is where healing begins. Don't hide anymore. Don't numb it. Don't bury it. Don't hustle your way out of it. Just be still and ask, who am I when no one's watching? That answer is where your freedom begins. If this hits something deep, don't just nod and scroll. Do something about it. Start by grabbing my free 7-day steps to overcome your mind. It's built to help you unpack what's holding you back so you can rebuild from the inside out. Click the link below, download it, and join a community of people who are done pretending. We're showing up real, raw, and ready to grow. And if you're walking this journey, follow along. Because the next episode, we're talking about how false identities forms and how to break it for good. Until next time, stay rooted, stay present, and never forget, real change starts within.